Welcome to Jewel in the Crown. The end of the season is upon us. We're approaching the semi-finals. My name is Greg Tibbetts. I'm here with Peter Hodgkin. G'day, Peter.
How are you, Greg?
I'm good. We're down here at Mitchelton, what's it called? Terralba Park.
Terralba Park. We're just outside the clubhouse in the bar area.
Yeah,
of course, the bar's not open.
The bar's not open and you don't have keys to get in anymore. So we're just watching some school football. It's a lovely day. Recording our show.
Yeah, and the reason we're down here is it's a little bit central because we have a special guest today and she lives up Albany Creek Way, and that's Jess DIllon. How are you, Jess?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Oh, good. So you're a little bit disappointed from last night's result, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get into anything football related, well, Jess, perhaps you could tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you start playing footy?
I started playing when I was like 4 in Canberra, I think it was, for Woden FC.
Yeah. He knows Canberra a little bit.
I lived at Hughes, so I think I did play for Woden actually, so only for the one season, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so you started down in Canberra.
Yeah, freezing there, playing pretty much on snow. That's all I remember. And then from there, moved here, went and played for Westside when I first got here.
Yep.
Playing for boys and girls when you could. And then moved to Pine Hills to play with the boys over there. And then I was in QAS for 2 years as well. I think that was the last 2-3 years of my high school. So that was good and hard. And
you made the Australian under-17 team, didn't you?
Yeah.
While you were at QAS?
Yeah, I represented Australia in the AFC under-17 Women's World Cup qualifiers in China.
Do you remember how you went?
We had to beat, I think it was North Korea, to go through, and the whole game it was like nil all. It was a close game, and I think the last 18, on the 89th minute, they came and scored to make it 1-0, and everyone was like devastated, like tears and everything.
So how long, that was under 17s a few years ago?
Yeah, so that was 2011.
So those girls for North Korea would have just played off a third in the under 20 Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
That same
just
team?
in Canada.
Just in Canada, yeah. So, and we didn't make that one either. So,
No.
There you go. Well, so you definitely didn't play at Annalyn.
No.
Because I remember you at Westside when I was there,
Yeah.
coming down and training with your mum.
Yeah.
Having little Jess and Jamie as well.
I know.
Yeah, so yeah, that's where you learn everything, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, back at Westside, sure.
No, from your mum.
That's what I meant.
That's right.
Because her mum... Now your mum is a really good... Well, she's still a good footballer.
Yeah.
But she was a really talented footballer in her day. You remember watching her play when she was in her prime?
In the midfield, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's getting a bit slower, older.
Sorry,
You're playing Renton Bourne tonight, huh? I mean,
No,
still good, though.
she's still good. She's a great player. Greg, SEQ2 results from the
we
weekend.
haven't finished speaking to Jess.
I was just going to come back to Jess. You got another question?
Oh, well, you talked about Canada. Now, Jess was playing in Canada.
She was.
Yeah, I played for the Toronto Lady Lynx for their W League season for 3 months.
How'd you find that?
It was such a good experience. They definitely play different style of football to over here, but I would definitely go back if the opportunity came.
Well, what's different about it? What's the style? How's the style different?
It's like always 100 miles an hour, so like rush. You don't really get much time on the ball. Like here, it's more possession and slower pace, kind of building up from the back, while there is just, I don't know, just chase it, use your strength. It's definitely different.
Were you playing on artificial pitches?
Yeah, which made it 100 times faster because it would just skim along the ground, no bumpy surfaces or anything like that.
And were you a starting player, or did you play many games?
There was like 12 games throughout the season, and I played pretty much all of them. But I was also young enough to play for the under-20s as well.
Oh, right.
So I would play like 2 games a weekend, which was fun.
Superstar.
Yeah. I don't know. Surely that makes you tired. I don't understand that.
So were most of the players in that side there in Toronto, were they like international players or mainly Canadians?
Well, because the under-20 World Cup was like coming up, there was about 4 or 5 of the girls in our team that were in the Canadian under-20 team.
Right.
That started off training with us and everything. So they played maybe the first 4 or 5 games and then went away to camps. So we had them.
And Canada did very well in that World Cup.
Yeah, they did actually.
Well, they got through the first round.
Yeah.
Which is pretty tough.
You know,
Yeah.
that's an achievement, definitely.
So, no W League for you this year, Jess?
No, not this year. I was away in Canada, so I guess I couldn't really trial for many teams.
So a bit of a break in the off season for you?
Yeah, first break since I started, I guess.
Oh, you enjoy it. You get to appreciate the breaks when they come along.
Yeah.
You really do. And if you've been playing at that level for so long, like you have, about time for a break. Even at your tender young age.
Yeah. So just coming back, now you would have missed a little bit of a fair amount of the season that we've just had. Like I know you started at East at the beginning of the year. So have you caught up on all the NPL news and what's happening next year?
Not so much. I know there's a lot of teams, I don't know, what do you call it? They've all bid for a spot.
Yeah, they've all put an expression of interest in for NPL, so...
just got to wait and see who gets it.
Yeah. And then we sort of put your hand up and say, pick me?
I guess so.
But you've been at East now for a little while.
Yeah, 2 seasons now, so this is my 2nd season. I've really enjoyed it there, so good bunch of girls.
Yeah. All right. Now we'll talk about East game from last night a little bit later. So you want to talk about SEQ now?
Yeah.
SEQ 2
and the BPL.
And the BPL.
I haven't got all the details on all the other premiership winners. So I'll bring them back next week.
We'll do that next week.
We'll
go
big
through
summary all of them. Yeah. So sorry guys.
In SEQ 2 results from Sunday, Power lost at home to South West Queensland Thunder. So perhaps a little bit of a surprise. But
big surprise.
So that was 2-1. And Annerley won at home against Taringa 1-0. So what that meant was in the SEQ 2, Annerley finished first on 29 points. Power dropped to second on 27. Thunder skipped up to third to get a home final on 25. And Mitchelton finished fourth on 24. South's 14, Taringa 10. And Lorena, your Western Pride, 0.
You can laugh out loud if you want to.
Well, Lorena was on last week. It should be on next week.
Yeah.
And
she's coaching that team now, yeah?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
good on her.
And she played for 10 minutes of the last game, which
really?
is even better.
So she's back.
All
right, East, hands off. All right, she's the Western Pride coach.
Yeah.
So that means that on Saturday at midnight, Elder Oval, Annerley will take on Peninsula Power.
Yeah, I'm not sure when that time's going to be on. I don't know.
It'll be, I think there's an Annerley, I think I saw their Div 2's playing at no, that's UQ. I'm trying to think, I saw an Annerley game. Yeah, something like that. Anyway.
Look it up, guys, sorry.
Yeah. And then Saturday at 5 p.m. at Torora Park, South West Queensland Thunder will host Mitchelton.
Right, and remember this is first versus second, third versus fourth. The winner out of first versus second goes straight to the grand final. Winner out of third and fourth plays the loser out of first and second next week.
In the preliminary final. Good old-fashioned Australian final system.
I don't like it.
I do. In the Brisbane Women's Premier League table, ended up with Ipswich Knights winning the league on 46 points. Eastern Suburbs, who usually win this league, on 42. Annerley, 34, and the Gap, also on 34, make up your top 4. Followed by Pine Hills, Redlands, Souths, UQ, Power, and Mitchelton on the bottom. Which means the semi-finals are again on Saturday at Elder Oval. I'm not sure what the time. Annerley taking on the Gap.
Yeah, it sounds like a big day of football down there.
Yeah, make some chips.
Make some chips. I might go down and have some watch. It might be at a convenient time for me. I don't know.
Oh, you got to look after that little baby girl of yours.
That's right.
Saturday at 6 p.m. Eric Evans Oval. Ipswich Knights take on Eastern Suburbs. You might get a run out there, Jess.
Yeah, I wish.
Well, no.
I've already started 7 games.
Yeah,
so I can't.
Bummer.
I know.
He shouldn't have played you last night. You should have said, no,
I played 7 before I left, and then this was my 8th. So.
Yeah, you should have come back under a different name. Well, gone, that's not Jess DIllon. Looks a lot like her, though. So we might have a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about SEQ 1.
I'm Lorena Maggio from Western Pride, and you're listening to Jewel in the Crown.
Welcome back to Jewel in the Crown. I'm Pete. I'm here with Dr. G and our good mate Jess DIllon from Eastern Suburbs. Let's talk about SEQ 1 results from the weekend and last night. Now, before we do, though, you know that I haven't named a round for quite a while.
Named a round?
I haven't given a round a name, right? Okay. This is called the Shout Out Loud round.
Why is that?
Because you can read my notes, Jess.
I don't get it.
Okay. Because this is all about comebacks. Every game in this round, the losing team was winning 1-0 at half-time.
Oh, wow.
Right? So this is the comeback round.
Okay.
All
And
right.
also, each team was lower on the table that one.
Yes, and I call it the Shout Out Loud round because the Shout Out Louds are an indie rock band from Sweden, and on their debut album, track 1 was called The Comeback.
Oh, okay.
So-
That's very obscure reference.
I know.
That's
But it was fun.
okay. Put
It's
a lot
good
of effort
song.
into
It's
that.
a good
so
song,
well
isn't
done.
And just so you know, the album in 2003 is called Optica because we're looking at OneNotes.
Okay.
So there you go.
Is it a good album?
Yeah, it is actually. On the weekend, last weekend, Sunny Coast Fire hosted UQFC, and UQ needed to win this game to finish second.
Mm.
That wasn't the case. Despite leading 1-0 at half-time, they lost 2-1 to Sunny Coast Fire.
Yes.
Georgia Chapman scoring the goal from UQ, and Sunny Coast don't put their goal scorers up.
No. Thank
we
you,
don't
Sunny
know.
Coast. All year. Thank you.
So that meant UQ finished third comfortably on Sunday. Now,
Last night.
last night was a big night in football for SEQ. The Gap hosted Redlands, and Olympic hosted East. Now, before we talk about...
Annalee hosted Olympic playing Easts.
Well, it's sort of Olympic Annalee. What colour shirts did they wear?
Blue and white, but they have stripes.
They have
so
blue
like
and white
Olympic
stripes.
but blue and white animals.
So the Annalee kit. The Gap, Redlands needed to win this to stay in fourth.
Well, why don't we do the other one first?
We want to do the other one
Because
first?
that's the final game. If we tell that game first.
All right.
Then, you know.
Yeah. So let's go Olympic versus East.
Olympic versus East. Now, Jess, you played in this game.
Yes,
you
I
were back,
did.
you were cleared.
Yep.
Tell us about the game.
Well, we started off, I don't know, it was a bit rocky at the start for both teams. Then we ended up giving a penalty away, I don't know, say the first 15 minutes.
6 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
early.
6 minutes,
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway, well, they scored that.
Seems like it goes forever when you're just coming back.
It did. So we were down 1-0 all of the first half. Had a few opportunities around, like, the first half. Came into second half wanting to get back because we needed to win this game to make semis, I guess.
So is that a big motivating factor from the coach before the game?
What sort of question is that?
I'm
We
just
don't
wondering
wanna
whether
make
he was using that to motivate the players or whether he was just...
Yes,
going out
we
there and-
needed to win. We wanted to win.
Because sometimes that puts pressure on
Pressure on.
players you don't
Yeah.
want pressure on. Go
Well,
on,
yeah,
sorry.
we came back. We came out hard, playing some good football, created chances. Nothing was going in, and then we ended up getting a penalty as well. So Georgie Amos took that and scored in the 60th minute. And then if we fought hard. It was going back and forth. Both teams fighting hard. It got pretty physical towards the end there. And then we ended up getting a corner late into the second half. And then Renee Cohen ended up putting it away in the back of the net. So it was pretty good.
So, of course, you came off, you'd won the game,
Yep.
and temporarily in fourth.
Yep. Well, we were all excited. Going to training tomorrow. Going to be in the semis. Blah, blah, blah. And then...
And then...
and then the Gap and Redlands happened. Oh, my God.
And then Tegan Riding said...
Redlands won.
Well, she did. Do you want to read it, Jess?
This whole thing.
Yeah, that's the Red Riding Report. Hang on, we've got to make the noise.
The Redlands team were looking forward to the match against its arch rivals, the Gap, particularly when it meant so much towards the finals outcome and Redlands' previous victory over them that finished their unbeaten record. Redlands was able to field a full-strength team for the first time for a number of months, and this was evident in the way the team played. Despite how long it has been, everything came together on the night. As with all the games against the Gap, it was fast and with very determined play by both sides. Redlands dominated the first half with a number of goal shots well in excess of the Gap, but the result at half-time was the Gap having a 1-0 lead over Redlands. Redlands were still feeling positive at half-time about the way they were playing and creating goal opportunities, and were not daunted by the score, and were confident that goals would come. Redlands were putting the Gap under pressure, forcing errors on their part and anticipating plays and cutting off passes like they haven't been doing in previous competition games. The Gap scored again early in the second half to bring the score to 2-0 in their favour. Monique Hansen-Coford then scored for Redlands in the 54th minute and again in the 74th minute, and then Kim Hart scored in the 79th minute. A play late in the game by the Gap failed to even the scores, but certainly added to the excitement and tension. The final result being Redlands 3, the Gap 2. The Gap's coach was very vocal throughout the game and could be easily heard on the field directing their players. Redlands could still improve on its play, and if we can field the full-strength team again leading into the finals, we are confident we can beat teams that have beaten Redlands in competition games to this point.
So thanks, Tegan.
Yeah, nice run up, Tegan. Thanks.
Yeah. So then obviously East heard the result come through,
Yep.
and from the highs to the lows.
Yep, we got a text sent out, and everyone was...
So Jeff had someone at the Gap game.
Yeah,
sending
I
him
think the
back-
Peninsula, the ex-Peninsula coach was updating him on the score. We seriously thought he was joking when he was letting us know, but ended up he wasn't. And it was pretty, disappointing.
After all of the drama of last night meant that the current ladder, as it stands at the end of competition, is the Gap premiers on 48 points. Palm Beach finished second on 41. UQ finished third on 39. Redlands obviously took fourth on 37 points, followed by East on 34, Olympic on 34, and Sunny Coast Fire on 29. So nice and tight. Like Sunny Coast weren't that far behind.
You know that. Scroll back and just see Sunny Coast got 29. What did Annalee get in the second part?
29.
They got 29 as well today.
Yeah, 29 points.
That's interesting. The other interesting thing about this ladder is those positions are exactly the same as they were before the split.
Yes.
Every single team is exactly the same place. So.
And I remember when it split and we said, who's going to make the top four? And I said, the Gap, Palm Beach, UQ and Redlands.
Well, aren't
because
you just always right?
No, I usually get it completely wrong. I get the table right. I get the match results wrong every week. Because I did pick East to win. But I thought the Gap would beat Redlands.
We all thought that.
So we all thought that. And East hoped that as well.
Yeah, we really did.
The semi-finals of this weekend. Saturday 6 p.m. at Oval number 3, UQ hosting Redlands. And on Sunday at 5 p.m. at Walton Bridge Reserve, the Gap will take on Palm Beach Sharks. I'm going to give up my roast dinner on Sunday and go and watch the Gap.
Okay.
So I can't go to the Saturday night game because it's Father's Day dinner thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right.
on Sunday. So there we are. That's the semi-finals.
It'll be tight. It's a good matchup. I mean, it's been a topsy-turvy split in a way, but
So the winner of the Gap Palm Beach will go straight into the grand final.
Now, do they get a home grand final or is it at a neutral venue?
I think it's at a neutral venue.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they're scheduling it with the men's leagues this year or not.
Okay.
It's up
We'll
to Football
find
Brisbane
out
later on. Yep. So I think the Gap will win
against Palm Beach. I think so too. Palm Beach haven't played in a few weeks now. Long time.
Yeah, they've had 2 weeks off.
Which can be good for your injuries and stuff, but it's a big kick in the momentum.
Well, we're not sure whether any of their girls came back injured from the schoolgirls titles.
Yeah, they had a couple down there: Ellie Pobar, Papalexiou, and someone else.
But they've got a couple of players coming back, so hopefully, I know speaking to Gary French, there was a couple of players that Palm Beach were trying to bring back in, but we're having to get permission from Football Brisbane for them to play. So we'll wait and see how that transpired.
Plus, they've lost a few to go play college football in the States.
So, here's your tip, Jess.
Well, I really want Palm Beach to win, but probably I'll go with the Gap to win, just because it's the Gap.
Well, I think the Gap will win this one. They've only lost to Redlands and Olympic all year.
Now, it's interesting, Rob Askew, the coach of the Gap, said when I asked him about the game last night, he said that they had a few out, and that's fine, and they've played with players out before. But when the game got into a position where they needed to actually win it, he said they didn't quite have the experience on the park. Now, coming into this game, if they're in a similar situation, at least they'll have had a game under their belt.
Yeah. A tense one too. Well, maybe not so much tense for them, but the atmosphere would have been tense with the Redlands game,
Yeah.
So...
And you certainly want momentum coming into the final series, so you're always keen to win that last fixture round. That whole thing about, you got to lose one to win a final is rubbish. Yeah.
But 3 games in a week, pretty busy. But they should be fine.
But, Rob didn't say he had a few players out. Maybe he's just resting a couple. Some weary legs as well. There was nothing riding on the game for them. The Saturday game, UQ playing Redlands.
Yeah.
Now, this is elimination.
Yeah.
So the loser is gone. They can join Jess on the sidelines for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Peter.
A tight game. I think UQ beat Redlands
2-0 about a week ago or so.
Yeah, that's right, they did, in another catch-up. Again, if Redlands, I think Tegan's right, if Redlands can get their top 11 on the park, they're good, very good. Obviously, they beat the Gap. Maybe, though, they should just play all their games midweek. Well, not all, they did lose that midweek. So, I don't know. I'm tipping third to beat fourth here, so I'm just going UQ just. But the experience Redlands had in that big game last night, probably a big boost for them.
Yeah, Jess, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I reckon Redlands will come out hard, but I do want to see UQ go through. See different two teams in the final for once.
Yeah, UQ v Palm Beach maybe.
Yeah.
It'd be a bit different.
But I don't think that's going to happen. We've all tipped the gap effectively. Redlands may have played their final
Early.
last night. They may have put such an effort into winning that game. Now they've got to back it up. I'm going to go against the grain. I think Redlands will. I think they've just got enough experience that UQ have got there. They've been there. They've done that all year. They've got themselves into the third. They fell over at the last hurdle for second.
Yeah.
So a bit of pressure, tightening up on the pitch, a little bit of inexperience in big games. I think Redlands might upset UQ this weekend.
Okay, that's your tip.
That's my tip, and which means UQ will probably win. But all right, so let's get out and about on the weekend.
Yeah, get some football. Obviously, all the other divisions are playing their finals. Check your mates' Facebook pages. They'll be telling you if they've got finals on. They'll be getting updates all week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go out and watch some football.
All right, now all the school kids have gone home from Taralba Park. It's nice and quiet. It's nothing like being down the footy ground when midweek and there's no one here. All night, everything looks very calm and peaceful.
Time to go home.
Time to go home.
Yep.
See you later, guys.
Thanks for listening. Thanks, Jess.
Thank you.